Washington is one of the darkest states in the Union. I'll read this. Pastor Josh sent this to me. Get your take on this. Both politically and spiritually, oppressive government, oppressive spirits. I have literally 3 pages I don't have time to get into that our team gave me with things related to family and parental rights, education, church, faith, religion, economy, small business. I mean, it's just absolutely horrendous. We feel like we're seeing tremors of revival. I think you know Russell Johnson, his friend, Alec Rowland, who talked about Westgate. I think we're trying to do our part here on the eastern side of the state. We feel called to stay and fight. What do you think are 2 or 3 keys to flipping a state that no one says can change? And what would you say to encourage Christians who were here fighting for that change?
Well, first of all...
And will you keep coming out to Washington State?
Yes, I will. By God's grace, I would be delighted.
Lord willing, yes.
I think a couple of things, because I don't think it's complicated. I think believers sometimes forget that non-believers are looking to us for clues because they see everything falling apart, but they don't have a belief system to make sense of it. I mean, if you're told over and over and over again, oh, there's like 40 genders, you kind of go, okay, I guess, I don't know. If you're a Christian, you don't have that excuse. You're a Christian, you're like, hey, excuse me, no, there's not. In fact, what is a gender? There are 2 sexes, male and female. Amen. That's it. End of conversation. Why are you trying to play with my head? Why are you trying to play with my kids' heads? What's wrong with you? Yes. We need to get in the face of people and say, like, that's just nuts. What do you? Where do you get this from? Yeah. But a lot of Christians are like, well, I don't want to get into that. I believe that the world, non-believers, are, if they will see Christians take the lead in this, evangelism will explode. This is part of the revival that's already happening. I
agree, 100%.
Is that people who are not churchgoers because they don't want to go to some dead church, some feminized church, some milquetoast church. They don't want to go there. But if they see Christians being heroic and like caring about their children and caring about their community and caring about common sense and caring about, oh yeah, there's strangers like, coming into our country. We don't even know who they are. They got anybody with common sense, and that's most of the country, and it's most of the people who live in Washington State.
I agree.
If you have common sense, you say, wait a minute, I don't know everything, but I know this is weird. I've got questions, and this is being shoved down my throat. There's a lot of stuff going on that feels wrong. The church ought to lead in fighting against that, because I guarantee you it's happened in many churches that I know, that if you're speaking the truth, people who are not interested in church, they're interested in that church.
Yes.
And so the churches that are turning and beginning to talk about this stuff, to me, that's the future, is that you have all of these people that they're looking for truth, but in a way, getting to the idol of evangelism. Over the decades, a lot of evangelicals have really abdicated the cultural war. They're just like, well, we don't want to get into that. I don't want to be a cultural warrior. I just want to preach the gospel.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. Right nor left. There's no such thing as just preaching the gospel.
We are not in those days anymore.
No.
I don't know that we ever were, but they are not equal and opposite errors.
Right.
With the agendas and the ideas being peddled between what we know as the political right and left of the world today.
That's exactly right. So when you say, how do you flip a state? So there's 2 things. First of all, if Christians will be aggressive and understand it is our job to be in the middle of all this, to get on the school board, get on the, get involved everywhere you can, because we do have the numbers.
We do,
and it's only
we
because
know that even in this...
we don't do it, right. So that's number 1. Number 2, and I think that will lead people who aren't believers across the line into faith and into joining us in the political activism if we take the lead.
The harvest is center right.
Yes,
people looking for sanity.
That's
I mean, if we're going to be just say plainly, in my view, I think we're seeing that and experiencing that.
Yeah, no, I think so. And then the other thing is simply, and this is the great scandal, if every Christian would be politically active and would vote, it changes everything. Yes. The only reason we have had, the myrmidons of hell, these really bad actors in our government is flatly because of Christians. It is because because of the church.
Let judgment begin in the house of God. Your book, Letter to the American Church.
Well, again, I'm making the case. I'm making the parallel with Nazi Germany. The church in Nazi Germany did not stand up in time. It's not complicated. They did not do their job. And if you don't do their job, guess what happens? Evil takes over. And if you want a picture of satanic evil taking over, you look at Nazi Germany. So we've seen enough of that in America, I think, to wake up enough people finally. We've seen enough evil and madness. I mean, we've seen lunacy that we've never seen in our lives. We never dreamt we'd see it. It's woken up a lot of people, but we've got a long way to go. Every single Christian should feel horribly guilty if they do not vote. I mean, it should never, ever be permissible that you would not vote. And we've got to make that very, very clear, loud and clear, because people's lives are depending on it. You care about the poor.
That's right.
You care about people who are suffering. You better vote.
Love your neighbor. I mean, I just had an opportunity to meet George Barna, and he has the statistics. He just reviewed all the stuff, even from this latest election. And he literally said, I was listening to him present, and he said, if Christians voted, they would never lose another election again at any level.
Think that is
any level.
But I mean, like on the one hand, that is like, how do you respond to that? Well, part of me could respond with horror and anger. Like, are you kidding me? And then another part of me could respond with hope and joy. Optimism. Like, listen, folks, we have been played. We have been silenced. The Lord in his mercy has woken us up. Is waking us up. Yes. And he's saying, I want you to take your country back for my purposes in history, not to make America great again for America's sake, for God's purposes in history, which is always why the Lord wants us to do what we do.
Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, you can click here to listen to the full podcast, or click in the link below and go wherever you listen to podcasts. And we're here, we're there, we're everywhere. Hopefully you can find us. And if you'd like some more free resources, you can head to StrongerManNation.com.